Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Blend show. This is the Friday Top 5 where I feature 5 things I thought were interesting or notable across, culture, just at large. Nothing in particular. Sometimes there's a theme. Today, there's really not. It's just kind of hadn't done this in a while and wanted to share some things that I've been kind of reading on, listening to, watching, or just generally interested. So before we jump into the show, I just want to remind you that we're in process of moving Daily Blend from WordPress to Squarespace. So you're going to see, a nice drip of content, but really we're just waiting for the domain to transfer. And then you're going to see a ton more content coming out of dailyblend.com, not just this podcast, but also my house music podcast, Music Mondays, some wine features, some stuff I've got cooking up with Greg Larson on Negronis with Greg, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, as always, you can get this episode and all other previous episodes on such great podcast platforms as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Spotify, Overcast, Anchor, and we just added back Stitcher Radio, or just Stitcher. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and have all episodes downloaded automatically on your device. And with that said, let's jump into the show. So the first story comes in from Christmas holiday, basically, and it's Blurb. I'm not sure if I love the website name, but who cares? And they're putting out some photo books. And in the past, actually, my mother made some really cool photo book for my daughter, but the quality was like subpar. She, did a great job, but I was just like, the paper stinks, the layouts are boring. You could tell this could have been made at CVS, no offense, Mom. Blurb looks like they took kind of like a graphic design approach, built some templates. So if I was going to compare it, it's like the Squarespace of making a book. You put together a theme and you make a book for, friends. You could actually publish a book if you wanted, but I'm more thinking about like pictures from an event or a series of events and then share it. So when I was on vacation, I saw this really cool book in Oklahoma about musicians and kind of the backstory of the songs they created. And I thought that was like a really cool project. And then I happened to be served up this ad. And so I was like, oh, these things really kind of tick and tie where I could make something similar to that. So not sure the theme I'm going to do, but check out blurb.com. There's no like link outside of, what's on Daily Blend. I'm not an affiliate or anything like that. All right. The next story is Michelle Beadle. And you might have remembered Michelle as the sort of spunky blonde commentator from ESPN on a variety of different shows, especially basketball, although she started as a beat writer for the New York Jets. And she left ESPN, or ESPN let her go. I'm not sure the exact ending of the contract there, but Michelle's got a point of view. She's pretty damn funny. I love following her Instagram. And I think this is like a really good fit for her at The Athletic to have a podcast. The Athletic does not have a ton of podcasts. Michelle has a more unique perspective in terms of sports and brings like her own personal life into the mix. And the show is called What Did I Miss? With Michelle Beadle. And the show sort of tagline is that it takes you into the mind of Michelle Beadle 3 times a week, covering sports, pop culture, juicy NBA storylines, bad TV, good TV, reality TV, and any TV. So I listened to a couple episodes. They're fun. They're great. Michelle is doing what Michelle does. And if you are commuting from beyond, the basement to your bedroom, like I am most days, have a listen or just go for a long walk and listen on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, so the third story comes in, and it's a video that I found, and it says, How Caffeine Addiction Changed History. And so the overview is, I love watching documentaries, and even more watching shorter ones that are only a few minutes. So this one was great. It was like 8 minutes long. And the person who did the documentary or a little, video on this is a guy named Michael Pollan, and his point of view is that 90% of the world's adults consume some form some form of caffeine every day, making it most widely used psychoactive drug on Earth. Michael Pollan was the author of This Is Your Mind on Plants. And the video is great. It talks about how, before caffeine, people were pretty drunk all the time because it was cleaner to consume beer and wine versus, water. And that, caffeine actually allowed you to focus longer. It allowed for second shifts or third shifts into the evening, however you want to think about it. And that it was really a driver of change. So it was a cool video. If you drink a lot of coffee, you're going to like it. If you're just into history, you're going to like it. Go watch it. All right, the fourth story here is on Pioneer DJ. And obviously, I'm into DJ gear if you've listened to this show. And this is the new XDJ RX3. So for those who don't know anything about DJing, you have two turntables, a microphone, or two turntables and a mixer is really what the song should have said. And this allows you to use software such as Rekordbox or Serato. So that's like the BMW or Mercedes of digital DJing software. Or you can throw everything on a thumb drive and you don't need a laptop and you're just staring at the big 10.1 inch screen. So the price tag is $2,000, which is a little rich for my blood. But if I had the money or someone from, I don't know, Guitar Center, Pioneer, heard this and was like, hey, we'll give you a discount, I'd probably go out and buy it. It's pretty cool. You can basically do everything you can do in a big club setup. Sure, the jog wheels are a little smaller. Sure, there aren't 4 channels for the crossfader or for the volume, whatever you want to think about it. But man, this thing's pretty sweet. And if you have a little bit of extra coin laying around, you've always wanted to get into some really good DJing gear, this is a direction I would take you. So the next one is really talking about how to cook the perfect steak at home by Bon Appetit magazine. And the gentleman's name is Andy Baragani. And I thought this was really cool. I was going to have some friends over, and I hate cooking while people are at my house for any length of time. I just get a little bit of nervousness, and then it's kind of a pain in the tail because your guests have to stand around the grill with you, and I don't know, I'd rather be doing something else. And this was a way to basically still let you cook a steak, but there's less room for error. And that's probably more of what I care. I remember in Atlanta, I went up to a buddy of mine's house. His dad's like, hey, how do you guys all want your steak? And, we're all nervous and everyone's like, rare, rare, rare. And our one friend's like, well done. And I never forgot my buddy. His dad burned all the steaks or messed up all the steaks. And these were 45-day aged, dry aged steaks, and he was just pissy. So this is really about how to cook, less of a fillet and more of just a regular kind of New York strip or porterhouse, and do it in a cast iron and just be a little more successful, have a little even of a cook. And I thought it was pretty cool. It's a good YouTube video. Once again, another one of those things you're going to watch and be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to go do that. So the next one or last story is from Parchi. And I think I've talked about this on the show before. I definitely know I've featured it at some point. So Parchi is named after the founder's childhood imaginary friend. Seriously. It's a collection of classic dive watches meant to be worn, collected, and shared by kids and their parents alike. So I think it's a 31 millimeter watch, maybe a 33, but it's small. And it comes in fun colors. The person behind it was Kara. She was the led special projects at Hodinkee. And, she basically had a playbook for how to go out and do this sort of, special limited edition watches. And they're just fun and they look great. I was about to go buy one for myself and my daughter, and then they sold out. And then I saw the announcement that they were back up and running with more inventory, and I was in a meeting, and then they sold out again. So, Kara, if you hear this, hit me with a DM. I will buy 2 or 3 or 4 watches right away. But anyway, they're super cool. 3 colors right now: green, pink, and Dailey Blend blue. And I think just based on the Instagram posts I've seen, they're going to come out with more. So that wraps it up for this week's edition of the Friday Top 5. We're getting closer to the end of the year, so be on the lookout for some episodes just talking about like top things of the year. I think I mentioned this. We're moving over at the front of the show about the Squarespace move, so be on the lookout for a new website, new content, etc. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe me at Twitter and Instagram. You also find me on LinkedIn. Dailey Blends everywhere on the World Wide Web. And yeah, that's about it. Hope you enjoy your Friday. Talk to you.